Leo, definitely looks like he's reassigned. Is he expected to be with the team this weekend, getting in games?
Yes, they'll go in Friday night in Providence.
So do you know if Sandy goes Saturday?
Most likely we'll split them, just because I think it's important to get Sandy in the net. He's played really good for us. His last three starts have been really good. He played great in Lehigh Valley, so I think it's important to get him in the net and not give him, that would be 2 weeks off without playing. So, and he's earned it. He's done a great job for us. He's been playing really good.
Updates on Brendan Warren or Victor Novichov?
Yeah, Noich, if all goes well, should get in this weekend. He'll be back. So credit to Michael and his team. Probably sooner than expected. So if all goes well, the next couple of games he should. And then Warren's probably more week to week. But he's doing it, I would say, not as bad as we initially thought. So that's a good sign for us. But Noich should be back this weekend.
Or lower?
Lower. Noich was upper, and then Warren is lower.
This weekend it's more Atlantic Division action, and that Providence team is pretty high up there in the standings as well. What do you see with them?
Yeah, they're a really good team. They're really structured. They're organized. They're really good off the rush. Like if you look at their numbers, they defend really well. They got two really good goalies. DiPietro, if you look at his numbers this season, I think he's at under 2. But that's a credit to their group. They defend extremely well. They're well coached, good on special teams, and they're a really good team. So it'll be another good test for our group. And Hartford's playing good. They just went to Charlotte and won 2 games on the road, and I think we know about Charlotte. We went there and we're fortunate to get a win. So they're playing good hockey, and anytime you go on the road, it's difficult, but we're excited for the opportunity to play another really good team.
Last year, when we played Providence, Apps said that these two teams were very, very identical. I know a year can change a lot. Do you see similarities in their system to yours?
Ours is different for sure. Like the D zone's different. I think that was a switch. We're more probably there's probably 3 different D zones you could play. They're strictly zones, so their D never leave the net front. Their center's releasing on the high guy. We're more of a hybrid. I think we outnumber in the corner, and then when the puck goes low to high, then you get into your one-on-ones if the puck goes back down. So it is a different D zone for sure. Then there you have strictly man-on-man, I guess you would say, like the Hershey is, like man-on-man everywhere, kind of like the Washington Capitals. But they transition really well. Like, I would say that's the one, they play fast and it's north. And that's probably the one area where it's very similar, but definitely different in the D zone. But they've played that system for a long time, even with the coaching changes up top. I think a lot of the players are familiar with it, and you never know what their lineup's going to be because of a lot of call-ups right now for Boston. They're injured, but they have a lot of really good players. You look at their lineup, the 3 centers that they have. Merkelov's a point-a-game guy. If Brown's down, Lettieri's up. It's a really deep roster, and they got really good D and good goaltending, so there's a reason why they are where they're at.
What have been some of the keys to get your group in the repeat on your style of play? I mean, even in, I would say the vast majority of your losses, close games, you guys.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good question. I think it's I respect our guys a lot because it's extremely hard to be as consistent as we've been in our 5-on-5 play, and it's rinse and repeat. We talk about it a lot. It's a lot of the stuff we talk about. We respect our opponents and we have a game plan, but we continually talk about pressuring the puck and our reloads and killing plays fast in the D zone. And I'm okay with us making mistakes if we're aggressive in the D zone. And I rather have us be over aggressive and I think the biggest thing that we talk about is getting into our forecheck and being relentless on the puck. You know, you watch a lot of games and the teams that are really good, a D cuts back and you're on them. Your second guy's right there. And it's the group is bought into, you know, even I look at the Hershey game, like it's an easy game to use as an excuse of 3-3, really tough travel, arguably consistently the best team in the league. And I thought that our first period we played there was probably the best period we had all season. I think shots were 12 and the guys have just bought into it. And I think it's a really talented group. And I think they see when we do those things, we have the puck a lot more. And obviously skilled guys want to play with the puck. So they've bought into it. And in the goals and the offensive production is great. But when I look at, I think you want to be top 10 in as many categories as you can. And I think we're third in goals in the league and we're top 7 in goals against. And I think I'm big on the goal differential and I think we're plus 25. I think we're, you know, top, and I think that's really important. And I think it shows the consistency of the group. And you want to be a goal differential, I think is a good indicator of how your team is playing and how consistent we've been. And they've been outstanding. And, you know, we haven't had a full lineup maybe 4 or 5 times all year, and guys have stepped in and did a really good job. Whoever's in the lineup has been fantastic. So we just got to make sure we keep playing to our identity and keep harping on. They're probably sick of it because I talk about it over and over and over, but I think it's really important in the game.
First goal, how happy were you to see him get that?
Yeah, it was that was the bright spot after the loss. We gave him the puck. He's probably could have had, I would say minimum probably maybe 4 to 6. And his game is coming around. He has really good offensive instincts. You know, I look at this weekend, his gaps were tighter. He was killing more plays at the blue line, and his game is coming around. But he has some natural gifts offensively for a young defenseman, and it was great. I think it was a huge relief because now we just got to get Johns to get his first one, and he's had a bunch of chances too. But it was great to see him get his first goal.
In front of everyone?
Yeah. After the game. I don't go in after losses a lot. I'm more of a feel, and I just wanted to make sure I told the group we were really happy with the way they played. I know when you take the emotion out of the game and the loss, but the guys worked, and they got 2 days off because of it, so they needed it. No, he was excited. I think the whole group was excited for him. They know, you know, there's been time. You know, we were up, I think, in Utica one game, and we got a power play, and we put him out there in the benches. You know, let's get Comey's goal, and no, they were really excited. Really excited.
He has a couple goals recently. Why has he been playing recently? Just is it numbers, creating opportunity?
Why has he been? Yeah. I think, you know, when a guy produces in a game, it's hard to take someone out of the lineup. And a lot of the guys that were playing, I don't like to say first, second, third, fourth line, because if you look at the production of, you know, when Slags, War Dog, I think they have 22 goals, is I guess you would say a fourth line, which is not, I don't play in like a fourth line, but guys have come in and done a really good job, and I think that's what you want with your group. You want inner competition, so it's our job as a coaching staff where it's difficult to, guys are playing good and we're taking them out of the lineup just because guys have earned it. And I think that's why the success of our team, you look at guys like Fiedler Schultz comes in the lineup and he's got, 13 points in 18 games. It's hard to take guys out of the lineup, and it's good for the group. You want inner competition. Now he scored a goal in a game, so now we have to have conversations about other guys, and that's what you want as a coach. It's a lot better to have that than, you know, trying to get guys in the lineup because no one's playing good.
Obviously, there's a ton of depth, but why has he had to wait for that opportunity? Because he is a high pick, he's a prospect.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is when you look at the balance of our lineup, there's guys that are playing in the top six. And I'm a big believer in, like, your third, I don't even like say third and fourth line, but guys that have play the way we want to play, and the heaviness, the physicality, the identity. And some guys are playing well where it's, I think if guys come out of the top six, you look at him sliding up because his skill set of him playing in the top six, but then sometimes there are different matchups and teams that you're playing that are big, heavy, and we need a more, I guess, physical lineup, you would say, in the lineup. But he's done the times he's come in, you look at the Bridgeport game, he had 1-1 and did a really good job for us. So it's been a difficult situation for sure, but he's handled it really well. And like I said, the inner competition is good, and there's a lot of guys playing good right now. We're going to have difficult decisions on the weekend. Josh has come in and give us a heavy element. He's played great. I think that his conditioning needs to come, but we have 14 guys that right now that all of them can play. So it's our job as a staff to figure out in certain matchup and games of who's our best lineup to play.
Does Scott need to, I mean, the skills obviously there, does he just need to adapt to a heavier?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is, when you talk about like skilled players managing the game of when to make the play, when, blue line execution plays, turnovers. I want guys to make plays, but there's time where you got to get a puck in and you got to get on the forecheck. And, O-zone, big on that, we're a heavy shot volume team, and I believe in it. And there's a lot of times, sometimes, where we're making the extra play through the box and we're turning the puck over and it goes the other way. I think there's certain situations like that, and then winning more puck battles on the wall. I think that's the biggest thing. We hold a high standard to guys. I don't care if you win the 50-50, you're not going to win all of them, but you gotta be engaged in those battles. And I think that's the area of his game. I think it's gotten better, and why he's played more games than the start of the season.
When did you really notice Austin's competitiveness?
I would.
How is that really?
I would. It's a really good question. I would say the biggest. I think we can. I didn't know what to expect when we got to play the NHL preseason games, and then we played Columbus's lineup towards the end of preseason. It was their heavy. I mean, it was basically their team, and Noah had 3 or 6 first assists in that games, and he was the best player on the ice. And he played a lot against Monahan that night. So for me, you can kind of see it, but in talking to our development staff and the people that drafted him, why he was drafted so high, and he's fearless when it comes into going into a battle to take a hit to make a play. I mean, the goals we scored on the power play this weekend was their direct calls because 2 guys are on him. He finds a way to protect the puck and makes the next play. And it's hard to find clips when we're in our own zone where he makes mistakes. I mean, you almost want him. I actually had a conversation with him. I almost want him to cheat more for offense because he's a highly gifted offensive player, but his natural instincts are like he's above every puck. He's engaged in the battle in the D zone. He cleans up a lot of things where maybe it's kind of chaotic sometimes in the D zone. You get those shifts, and he gets the puck and makes a play to get us out of the zone. But he's a relentless worker. I think behind the scenes too, he's a quiet worker. The way he goes about it, the way he trains in the gym, the way he practices, and you can kind of see it. I think it took him a little bit. He missed some time. It's one thing if you miss time at the start of the season, when teams are trying to figure it out, but he missed like guts of the season where, it's the game is different now than it was in November and December. And he missed that time. And I think he's, I don't know, 5 points his last, or 6 points his last 5 games, whatever it is. And he's been a driver. He's a really good player. And he's been a huge part of our team's success. And his play away from the puck and his competitiveness for his size is, and he put on 9 pounds during that time when he was, it just speaks of his work ethic and commitment during a hard time, his injury to come back, and he's been outstanding.
The Russians, how much is having, 3 other guys or whatever it is around him, helped him?
He's actually the one that speaks the most English, so he's the one that he's kind of, we go to him on some stuff, but they're all been great. You look at the seasons that, it's too bad Neutsch, I think Neutsch had 9 points in 6 games before he got injured, and I think Novikov's plus, 22 or something. He's been great. His play away from the puck, his defending, his gaps. I think I didn't get to watch him play last year, but gapping against speed, I think is the biggest thing. His pivots, and he's done a great job, and he has really good offensive instincts, and he's a really hard defender. And Neutsch has been great. He's another one. He's tenacious on the puck. He competes really hard. They've all been great, but they all help each other out. They're like a little clique. We try not to keep it too where they got to hang out with other people, but no, they've all been awesome.